Good afternoon, everyone, and we want to thank all of our media members joining us here today, as well as our fighters, as we get you set for a big event. On Saturday, July 19th, comes the card of the summer, a star-studded PBC pay-per-view event on Prime Video that is headlined by the legend and the return of Manny Pacman Pacquiao as he looks to take on WBC welterweight world champion Mario Barrios live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, before we get to that pay-per-view, preceding that will be a stacked three-fight PBC on Prime Video lineup featuring three big names in the sport that you'll be hearing from today. Topping the streaming presentation is the return of former longtime featherweight world champion Gary Russell Jr. as he steps back into the ring to face Hugo Castaneda in a 10-round lightweight showdown. And the action also includes undefeated top super bantamweight David Rey Picasso dueling Japanese contender Kyonosuke Kameda in a 10-round affair. Then we also have the Filipino power puncher and former world champion Mark Magnifico Magsayo as he battles Mexico's Jorge Mata Cuellar in a 10-round super featherweight attraction. And this all goes down Saturday, July 19th, and it opens up the show at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. You do not want to miss it. If you have the opportunity to purchase tickets, tickets are still available for the live event on sale now at AXS.com. Trust me, there is nothing like a world-class pay-per-view fight event in the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and we all look forward to being there Saturday, July 19th. Now, let's get to our fighters as I will bring on first with the man that is 27-2 with 18 wins by knockout. He's the former featherweight world champion, originally from Tagbilaran City, Bohol, Philippines, and now fighting out of Southern California. And he's coming in on this fight with some momentum, winning 3 straight fights. Please help me welcome Mark Magnifico Magsayo.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Welcome on, Mark, and just talk about, how excited are you to be a part of this card Saturday, July 19th, as you are on a winning streak so far?
When I knew that Pacquiao is coming back and he's fighting, and I pray that I'm gonna be one of the undercard, and it did. So I'm so happy and I'm so excited to fight this coming July 19th.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. And we'll get to a few more questions with you in just a bit as I bring on another fighter who is been undefeated, 31-0-1 with 17 wins by knockout. He's 24 years of age from Mexico City, winner of 5 victories in 2024 as he makes his 2025 debut this on Saturday, July 19th, as he's looking to secure a super bantamweight world title fight. Please help me welcome David Rey Picasso.
Hi, Miguel. Thank you so much for the presentation. I'm just so excited for fighting this function. Manny is a person, is a boxer. Like he pushed my dreams. He is my idol, and that I will fight in this before him. Is so excited, so motivated, and I know this fight is my the most important in my career because I hope that in December I will fight for the championship.
Well, thank you so much, David. We'll get to you in just a bit. As now we'll bring on the man that will be headlining that 3-fight presentation before we get to our pay-per-view card. He's coming in with a record of 31-2 with 18 of those by knockout. He was a long-time former featherweight world champion, held the belt for many years, representing Capitol Heights, Maryland, following in his late father's footsteps, training his younger brothers as he helped his younger brother fighter, win the WBA Super Lightweight World Champion Gary Antoine Russell, as well as his other brother, a contender, Gary Antonio Russell. Please help me welcome Gary Russell Jr. Gary, it's great to be with you.
Man, it's great to be back. It's great to be back, man. It's definitely a pleasure. I'm excited. I'm more so excited just to be able to just get back out there. You know, the last time I competed was over 3 years ago. I'm ready to just get back out there and do what I love doing best.
Well, we look forward to having you, Gary, and we'll get to you in just a moment. As now I'll start to open things up for a little bit of Q&A with you guys. As we'll start with Magsayo. And Mark, you know, I know you mentioned, you know, this is a huge opportunity for you. You talked about being on the same card as an idol, the legend. You know, he has carried the country in the colors and proudly represented the Philippines for his entire career. Everyone always talks about how the entire country pretty much stops when Manny Pacquiao fights, and I'm sure it will again on Saturday, July 19th. What does that mean for you as a fellow countryman to be on the same card as Manny?
For me, it's an honor to be an undercard of one of the legend and one of my idol, one of my hero. So I'm so excited to showcase my talent in this competition, and I know I can do better than anyone.
Now, you are coming in with some momentum. You've won 3 straight since your losses to Figueroa and Ray Vargas. Now, before we get to, you know, what's been working for you, looking back on those fights, you were a world champion. Losing to guys, it's not like those losses were to, you know, guys that weren't of high quality. I mean, you're talking about Figueroa and Vargas, both world champions in their respected divisions. You know, what do you think, looking back on those fights, what held you back, you know, when you came up short in those fights? And what did you learn from yourself moving forward to improve upon that?
You know, Miguel, that fight is like I'm too dehydrated with my weight. I'm supposed to fight. I'm supposed to fight at 130 after I fight Vargas. When I fight Vargas, I'm supposed to move up to 130, but the opportunity is come to me and I didn't say no. So I just fight and too dehydrated for my second lost fight. So I learned that discipline myself and focus and win every fight.
Now, you obviously have corrected some things. You've won 3 straight fights. What's been working so well for you now, as winner of 3 straight going into this fight?
Also, because of my coaches too. Coach Marvin is we're the same Filipino. We can talk same language, so I can understand and everything that he taught to me, and he taught me a new style, new techniques. So I'm so happy that he's in my corner.
Now, you're fighting a guy in Jorge Cuellar. You know, stylistically, how does that match up for you? Does it favor your style or, you know, without having to give away the game plan, you know, what are you expecting against Cuellar?
I expect that he's not gonna run this fight because I saw his fight is standing, easy target. So I think it's a good fight for me, and he's a good fighter too. He's a good record, so I'm not underestimating his style. So I'm just focused on win the fight.
Now, do you feel like you have to win impressively? Being a former world champion, you are the favorite in this fight. You obviously want to get back into title contention and compete for another world title to become a 2-time champion. Do you believe in order to garner that attention and get fans to want to see you in another world title fight that you have to not only win, but you got to do it in a dominating fashion?
Yes, I want to do my best to impress the people, the fans, and if I have an opportunity to knock him out, I'm gonna grab that opportunity and then go to the world title fight.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. And we'll get closing comments from you as we come back around.
Thank you, Miguel.
And as we move on now to David El Rey Picasso, as he's getting ready for his fight against Kameda. Now, going to you, Picasso, you've been very active. You fought 5 times in 2024. What's been working so well for the last year to go on that big of a run? We don't see guys that, especially of your caliber, who fights 5 times in a year. What was the decision? What was the thought behind you and your team to be that active last year?
In these 6 months for my past fight, I I was in training. I was training all the time. I was preparing for the West fight in May, but that's life. And in the life in the boxing, you never know all. So I hope in December I will this fight. But in this moment, Kameda is the next fight, and the next fight all is the most important. So Kameda is a hard fighter. Is a longest fight. Sorry, my English is so
Oh,
little
no
off.
worries. No worries.
Kameda is a longer fighter, so I need just a moment, and this is a spectacular fight for me.
Now, for Kameda, he has not fought in Las Vegas before. He's fought in a lot of his majority of his fights in Japan. This will be his first fight stateside. And now, especially on a stage like this, do you feel like you have the advantage? Because I believe you fought in Vegas before. You kind of have an understanding of what comes with a card that, can have a lot of hype behind it, a lot of fans paying attention, a lot of eyeballs on this one. Do you feel like you have that little bit of an advantage leading up to this fight, knowing that you've gone through that before and this will be his first time fighting stateside?
Well, this is my second fight in Vegas, so I don't think so. But I think that in Las Vegas, Mexicans, Latins, and more people is for Mexico City, and uh, fans like Mexicans, Latins. So I'm so excited for fighting this place because, well, mm, in all the world, the ring is the same form. So I,
Yeah.
I'm fighting same in no the place are is so exciting for me, but no it is the more important.
Now, do you believe, you're 31-0. So, you have a lot of wins. You've really stacked them up early on in your career, being only 24 years of age. Do you believe you're ready? You're that next man up for 122 pounds to kind of take over the division. I know you've had the opportunity, or there was rumors of the opportunity to fight Inoue that fell through. Do you believe you're that guy that can take over that division?
Yeah. All my life I'm preparing for this fight for uh I was preparing, I was training so I was 7 years old. In this moment I have uh 24 years old, so 17 years old are boxer in my life. Practically all my life is boxing, so I'm preparing. I'm so excited for this fight, and this fight is for my life. It's a change to the life, so I'm so excited. I'm need this fight. I need this fight. No,
There you go.
simply for the box. It's my life. It's the change of my life. So I'm so excited, and I will win.
You say this is the most important fight of your career, and I know you said, I don't want to look past Kameda. This is who I'm focused on. But with those rumors that were swirling around, you have to bring it up when you talk about a guy like Naoya Inoue, who is arguably one of the best fighters in the world, one of the top 3 for sure, pound for pound. Knowing that fight is so close, and maybe there is that potential opportunity, is that a fight you want if you're able to get through this fight successfully?
In the ring are ever. We can think, plan for the fight, but in the ring, all change. So I will fight intelligent. I will fight a long distance, but if it's necessary, I will the court distance.
Sí, no, pero creo que, Miguel, sorry, I'm going to step in. I think you misunderstood the question. Your question was about whether he wanted Inoue, right? As far as like the prospect of a future fight, right? Bueno, creo que malentendiste un poquito la pregunta, David, pero está todo bien, no te preocupes.
Okay.
La pregunta era sobre el potencial de, si ganas esta pelea, el prospecto de Inoue, el que esté ahí, el que esté ahí disponible, ¿te tienta? ¿Te hace pensar que quizás una pelea de ese calibre es algo que está en tu futuro cercano?
Sí, por supuesto, definitivamente creo que esa pelea se va a dar en algún momento de mi vida, sea peleando en Super Gallo, sea peleando en Pluma, pero esa pelea se tiene que dar en mi vida porque la voy a buscar pase lo que pase, y voy a seguir luchando todos los días, entrenando en el gimnasio para que esa pelea se dé y pues arriba del ring yo voy a tener que demostrar todo lo que me he preparado durante toda mi vida.
Absolutely. When I step into the ring, I fight like I have been preparing for this my whole life. And the fight against Inoue is something that I absolutely truly want, whether it's a bantamweight or a featherweight, because it's part of that preparation of a lifelong desire to be the best. So whenever it happens, I'm gonna be ready. But I do want it to happen. I wanna make it true at some point.
All right. Thank you, David, and thank you, Martin Batar, with translation there. And we'll get closing comments from you in just a bit. As now we move on to the man that is making his return. You know, we're talking about Manny Pacquiao, obviously making his return, but you, another world champion, or one of the top guys in the world for a long time as a champ. 3.5 years removed, you are coming back into this. What motivated you to step back into the ring? Because I know there was questions surrounding, like, you know, were you going to be retired, or were you kind of done and taking over the head training role of your family and just kind of watching over your brothers? I think you surprised a lot of people when it was announced that you were going to be fighting on this card. What prompted the return?
A lot. Boxing, just like David said, you know, boxing it's a lifestyle for me. You know, it's been a lifestyle for me. I've been doing it my entire life. I got injured. My last fight, it was a controversial, you know what I'm saying, decision, if you ask me. I'd love to do that again if you want to. I got injured my last fight. I don't think he want that. But I got injured my last fight. I still believe that within that fight, I was able to display my skill set and the talent that I bring into the sport of boxing. And I know David, his English is little, poquito. But ass whoopings are universal. Everyone knows what an ass whooping is, no matter what language, culture, or anything it is, you know. So with that being said, I always wanted to come back to the sport. I wanted to take the time out. My dad passed. I had the passing of my dad, who was my coach, my younger brother's coach. My younger brother actually passed away, I want to say, a few months before my dad passed. And then I got the injury. I injured myself. So it was a lot that I had to sit back, focus on, reprogram myself and lock in, taking the time to develop my younger brother. You know, I had to train my younger brother now. Now everything fell in my lap as far as the coach's perspective. My younger brother that did pass, I just got custody of his 3 children. So I have 8 children in the house all the time now, you know. I just had to take the time out to focus in, lock in, and regroup and get my little brother situated. And now that I got a little downtime, I can come back to the sport. You know, I wanted to make sure that I was healthy before I came back. I still don't believe that my arm would ever be 100%, but I do believe that it's good enough for me to go out there and display my skill set and show people that I'm still one of the best in the world.
Now you said you were dealing with a lot, you know, in your life, but now you're ready. You're back.
Oh, yeah.
You're healthy. Being apart from the sport for that long now, even though you were involved in the sport, you're obviously training, you're in the gym every day, but as a fighter, it's different once you step into the ring under the bright lights. It's just a different experience. Taking that time over the 3.5 years, getting your brothers to, one being a contender in his division, another being a world champion, and really taking a stranglehold as the coach for them. What have you learned about yourself? Because obviously you're probably coming in with a different perspective last time you were in the ring.
I've learned that my DNA, that I was designed for this stuff. A lot of times people tend to give up on themselves because they don't know how they're going to overcome the obstacles. Life is about obstacles and overcoming hurdles, not giving up, and just like I say, overcoming the obstacles that come your way. Having a level of mental resilience. I'm just grateful that I'm strong-minded enough to stay tunnel vision. And as far as boxing is concerned, it's always been a lifestyle for me. This is the longest that I've ever been out of the gym once I got injured. Even when I'm not getting ready to compete or anything, I'm always in the gym. It's a lifestyle. I'm always in shape. I'm always training. My injury forced me to not work out. I was going crazy. Something was missing within my day, and I gradually got it back, and I was able to work a little harder, push a little more, and then put a little more stress on myself, on my arm, on my body, and testing it to see if I can actually take it. I believe at this point I can take it. I got my younger brothers to the point in which that they are so far. Antoine is a world champion. He's supposed to be defending his title sometime in October. Antonio, he's supposed to be competing again in August. Me taking the reins as the head coach for that. It's funny because now that I'm competing again, my younger brothers are helping training me. So it's pretty cool, man, to change for the dynamics to switch like that, from me being coach to now going back to the fighter role. And every great king, in my mind, should know that no matter what's going on, even if you're a king, you always are open-minded to constructive criticism, and you should always know that you can get advice from everywhere. So just staying open-minded, taking in the advice that my younger brothers, my siblings and stuff is giving me, and using it all as fuel for progression.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Gary. So now I'm going to turn things over to Andrew Roberts, as I know we got some media members on the call that are ready to ask some questions. So please raise your hand. Andrew will try to get to you guys, and it's an open forum. So if you have questions for Mark, David, or Gary, feel free to ask away. Andrew?
All right. Thanks very much, Miguel. Our first question is going to come from Lucas Cattell with Boxing Scene. Lucas, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Okay, let's see. Hello. So my question is for Gary Russell. I was kind of wondering, like, with the recent retirement of Lomachenko, is that the fight that got away? And did you have
Oh
any
my
thoughts
God.
on that Loma thing? Just because I think you two were so tied together in a period of time of that last decade. So I was just kind of curious to get your thoughts. So maybe we could kind of finish that part of your career and his career and
Oh
move
my
on
God.
there.
That's so crazy that you asked that question. To be honest with you, and this is no disrespect to, to Mark or anything like that. In my personal opinion, I only have one loss on my record. There's only one. I believe that I only truly have one loss, and that was to Lomachenko.
Hey, brother, we can do it again. We can do it again if you
We can
want.
definitely do that again.
Yeah.
Oh no, I want
That
that. I want
yeah.
that. I want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make it easy on yourself.
Make it clear next time.
Yeah, we can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can definitely make that shape.
Yeah.
But like I say, that's not a fight that I would look at as a loss. I believe within that fight, I displayed a certain level of boxing excellence. Marcus of Queensbury, the sport of boxing means to hit, not get hit. I believe in the Mark fight, I was, even with me being injured, I was still able to display my skill set, and it still was a lopsided fight if you ask me. in my personal opinion, back to your question, I only had one loss. I believe that loss was to Lomachenko. I was dehydrated within that fight. I'm pissed that he retired. To be honest with you, I would love to set up some sparring, man. We can do some sparring. Even if he doesn't want to box anymore, I would love to set up some sparring, man, so we can get it off our chest, man.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for that, Lucas. Our next media question is going to come from Manuk Kopian with The Ring. Manuk, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Gary, congrats on coming back to the ring. You mentioned that your arm wasn't 100%, and it'll probably never be. Are you referring to the right shoulder surgery, right shoulder from the previous fight?
Yeah. Well, in that fight, I tore the tendon that was connected to the rotator cuff. I strengthened it up. It's strong enough now for me to do exactly what I want in the sport, you know, for me to fire my shots efficiently the way that I would like them to. But I still don't feel as though that, you know, it'll ever be 100%, you know. I still don't feel as though it'll ever be 100%. I would never have a new arm again. You know, I had to get cut and everything else. But I definitely worked it to the point where as though it's strong enough that I'm confident enough to go out here and be able to display my skill set to the world.
And with obviously you've gone through so much over the last few years. Looking back on your career, would you have wanted more activity now that you're 37, giving it another go? Would you hope to have done it differently over the last 10 years?
To be honest with you, within the last 10 years, I would have loved to have competed more frequently. But if you want to be completely honest and blunt about it, a lot of these guys, when I was at the top of my game, a lot of these guys was not in a rush to step in the ring and compete against me. I can't make these guys fight. You know, I was willing to make the fights happen, but these guys wasn't willing to fight me. So I had to fight people like Mark and my mandatory challenger, the next best guy to the champion, because the champions that I wanted to unify against, they never wanted to fight me.
Gotcha. And a question for David. You know, we talk about the Inoue fight, and that fight was actually supposed to happen earlier this year, and Ramon Cardenas ended up getting the opportunity. Can you just explain from your position why the fight didn't happen originally earlier this year?
Bueno, David, sobre la pregunta anterior de Inoue, se suponía que vos ibas a pelear con él a principios de este año, pero al final la terminó consiguiendo Ramón Cárdenas. ¿Nos podrían contar un poquito de por qué sucedió, cuál fue el contratiempo y cuál es tu opinión de lo que sucedió?
Okay. Yeah, when the fight are in this opportunity for me and for my team, we went to the contract, all the things that fight are for us. We can make, yeah, and we are in this moment we was estábamos muy emocionados. Martín, ¿me puedes ayudar con eso, por favor?
Sí, no hay problema, dale,
Estábamos muy emocionados por esta pelea, pero hubo varios contratiempos en cuanto a que no llegaba bien el contrato, en cuanto había terceras partes involucradas, y al final del día, pues parece que estaban hablando con nosotros y con Ramón al mismo tiempo, y a Ramón le llegó más rápido la noticia y dijeron, bueno, se va con Ramón. Sin embargo, si la vida quiere que esta pelea se dé entre Inoue y yo, pues Dios y la vida sabrán en qué momento nos la darán. Y yo estoy seguro de que será en diciembre, porque ya se ha venido hablando mucho. La pelea más importante en nuestra vida en estos momentos es la que viene este 19, pero sin duda alguna se va a dar esta pelea en diciembre.
Well, so what happened with Inoue was a matter of timing and circumstances that didn't align for me, right? Because apparently they were talking to Ramon Cardenas at the same time. There were third parties involved, a contract that wasn't coming, that was being delayed, and apparently Cardenas got there first. But regardless of that, the fight on July 19th is the biggest one of my life. And God willing, if this fight against Inoue happens at some point in my life, I'm going to be really thankful for it, and I'm going to be ready for it. But again, it's all about what's going to happen in a couple of weeks for me. And then, in a way, we can think about him later.
All right. Thanks very much, Manute. Our next media questions are going to come from Abraham Gonzalez with Fights Around the World. Abraham, please unmute yourself. You can ask your questions.
Yes. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I was actually trying to get Gary also, but it looks like he's off the video. Is he still there?
Oh, we
Okay.
might. Apologies. He was in transit. We might have lost him. Do you have anything for either David or
Yeah. Well, I guess for Mark, you've won the 3 fights in a row. I know it's been a little bit since you've been a world champion. Is this fight the one that gets you that next big fight? Because it kind of seems like you've had stay busy fights in between that, um, and you're 30 years old now, if I'm not mistaken. So, is this the point where this fight gets you to that big fight again?
Yes, this is my stepping stone to the next level, world title fight. So if for sure I'm gonna win this fight, the next one is a world title fight. So we're preparing for that, and for now we focus on this event.
Okay, and then a question for Picasso. I There's been a lot of this a lot of these announcements of things happening after a fight that's coming up that you have in front of you. How do you block out all of that noise and focus on what you had, the task at hand, without having to look at, what's waiting for you down the road?
¿Cómo haces, David, para enfocarte en tu tarea actual, en lo que tenés enfrente tuyo, e ignorar todas las preguntas sobre lo que se viene a futuro, oponentes hipotéticos, etcétera?
Bueno, siempre a lo largo de la vida se nos presentan muchos retos y tenemos que enfocarnos primero en una cosa y luego ver para adelante, porque si nos enfocamos en todos lados al mismo tiempo, nuestra mente se parte en muchos pedazos. Así que lo más importante para nosotros ahora es este 19 de julio, ganar esta pelea, noquear, vernos bien, y después de eso nos empezaremos a concentrar en lo que las cosas, las noticias vengan para nosotros. Y si es ese campeonato del mundo tan ansiado que he buscado durante toda mi vida, es algo que voy a luchar por él siempre.
Life is full of challenges and it's never a straight line, but you have to focus on what's in front of you. You have no other alternative because otherwise your mind will splinter into a million places. July 19th is my biggest commitment, the only commitment I have right now because it's the most important thing in my life. And then once that's over, we can focus on the future, see what kind of news we get, what kind of updates we have on different things that we want to do. But we gotta focus on July 19th first. And if that world championship fight that I crave comes my way, then that's gonna be amazing because it's gonna be the fulfillment of something that I have worked for my whole life.
All right. Thank you for that. Oh, sorry, David. Go ahead.
Yeah. I fight all the fight like is a championship for me because I was training for 7 years old and all my life is for boxing. When you are in boxing for first time, the boxing are here all the life. Mark know this, Gary know this, and Manny know this, and this is for it's for the life, is for the the emotions, the passion. Is a passion for me, and all the fights for me is like championship.
All right, excellent. Thank you, David. Thank you for those questions, Abraham. Our next media question is going to come from Ivan Alfie with TV Azteca. Ivan, please unmute yourself. You can ask your questions.
Hi everyone, Ivan here from TV Azteca, Mexico. My question is for Alan David Picasso, and that's reason I speak in Spanish. Alan, ¿por qué elegir a Kameda en esta pelea? ¿Cuáles son las cualidades que le ves este peleador japonés que lo vimos hace un par de meses en Tijuana peleando contra Pantera Neri, fue noqueado. ¿Cuál es la razón por la que eliges este nuevo rival para enfrentarlo el próximo 19 de julio?
Bueno, en realidad yo no escojo los rivales que a mí me asignan. Yo la verdad voy a pelear con quien sea, donde sea. Como dije hace un momento, el ring es cuadrado en todo el mundo, así que pues también los peleadores tienen dos manos, los peleadores somos iguales arriba del ring y no importa si es Kameda, no importa sea quien sea, yo estoy listo para pelear y como dije hace un momento también, cada pelea la peleo como si fuera un campeonato del mundo para mí. Así que da igual si es ahorita Kameda, si es Inoue, si es quien sea, yo voy a pelear como si fuera lo más importante para mí en mi vida y como si fuera la pelea del título mundial.
The question was about why, he chose Kameda as an opponent, since considering that a couple of months ago, Kameda got KO'd in Tijuana by Pantera Neri. And Picasso replied that, first of all, I don't choose my opponents. I just fight whoever is in front of me. And like I said before, I fight every fight like it's a world championship fight, regardless whether it's Kameda, it's Inoue, it's whoever. I'm going to step into the ring and fight like it's a world championship fight. The ring is square for everybody, and you never know what might happen.
¿Cuáles son las cualidades?
Oh, my apologies. I think I accidentally.
I think I was going to ask a second question.
Yeah, hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that, Ivan. You have permission to speak again if you have another question.
Ok, gracias. Alan, ¿cuáles son las cualidades que le has visto a Kameda en sus recientes peleas para ser atractiva también, obviamente, esta pelea contigo?
Bueno, él es un peleador que tiene mucho volumen de golpes, que en algún punto quiere meterse en tu cabeza y trata de fanfarronear un poco. Así que para nosotros es muy importante la mentalidad, estar centrados todo el tiempo, siempre estar concentrados en que no haya un golpe por ahí que nos sorprenda. Y pues es un peleador que aguanta muchos golpes también. Se vio contra Pantera Neri, se vio en sus peleas pasadas. Él recibe muchos golpes y aguanta también, pero lo más importante para nosotros es pues que al final del día, arriba del ring, no importa el rival, siempre hay que estar nosotros moldeándonos para cada estilo que nos toque.
Kameda is a tough fighter, someone that can be centered and focused on his task and withstand a lot of punches. We saw it against Neri, how he was able to stand his ground despite the punishment that he was taking. And he also has a big punch output. He has a lot of volume with his punches. So we gotta look out for that. But most importantly, it's not about our opponent. It's about what we do and what we are focused on for July 19th.
All right. Thanks very much, Martine. Thank you for those questions, Ivan. We do have Gary Russell back on. Thank you, Gary, for joining us again. Although might be frozen at the moment. Anyways, hopefully we have him here in a second. We got time for a few more media questions. Our next ones are going to come from Ron Goodall with Fight Hype. Ron, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Awesome. I appreciate it. It depends if Gary comes back, but I got one for Mark Magsayo. Obviously, if he wins this fight, not looking past his opponent, Jorge, but he has two belt organizations that he's highly ranked in. And I was curious, was he more interested on facing the winner of a potential Fulton and Oshaki Foster or the Emmanuel Navarrete and Charlie Suarez? And if so, why?
Um, I'm fighting anybody who in my division. So either in my lineup or in my ranking, I can fight anybody. I can fight whatever WBC, WBO, IBF. So
Does one stand out a little bit more, or it's just as long as you get an opportunity for a title?
I just if they give me if my promoters give me an opportunity of to fight, I can fight whatever it is.
Awesome. And my question to Gary, if the signal's strong enough, I know he has history with Tank and Lamont Roach. Would you potentially go up and wait to? I know it's
Can
long overdue.
can you hear
but
me? Could you hear me? Could you hear me clear now?
yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, what was your question?
I know you have history Tank, and a lot of people don't know, but you also have history with Lamont Roach as well. You sparred him. Would you entertain going up another weight class?
Um, Well, to be honest with you, I've never worked with Lamont Roach.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Misunderstand.
I never worked with Lamont Roach. Um, and I also never worked with Tank either. The only history between the two is the fact that Roach is from the area. Um, we got to decide who's the best within the area. So that's one of the histories between me and Roach. And just like with Tank, when I was at the pinnacle of my career, Tank was always one of those guys that was there. It was never no dislike or no bad blood, but we're fighters. I'm trying to see who's the best. Let's figure out who the best is in our whole little area. Let's put it on the line. So that's pretty much what my situation was with both of them. And
I think we're losing Gary. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're losing Gary here. We're gonna mute him. Sorry about that, Ron.
Can you
No,
questions?
no, that's perfectly fine. I appreciate it.
Okay, hold on.
No problem. Thanks, Ron.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Gary.
Hold on. I can hear y'all clear now. Could you hear me?
Okay, sure.
Hello?
Yeah, if you leave your video off, that's fine.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes, sir. All right.
Can you hear me clear?
Yes, sir. We got you. All right.
Okay,
last
perfect.
few questions are going to come from Cynthia Conti with the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. Cynthia, if you would please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Okay, this question is from Mark Magsayo. Can you talk about the surreal moment for you? Because you've been watching Manny Pacquiao, 8 years old. You're watching him on TV in your through your neighbor's house, and now you're fighting on his undercard. You're training alongside him. Can you just talk about this surreal moment that you are going through right now, and to give the hopefuls of the boxers in the Philippines, your fellow countrymen, that there is hope, that you were in that position at one point and now you're fighting on your idol's undercard?
For me, I'm so happy that I am the undercard and then part of his training in the gym, in the running and uphills. I'm so happy that my dream come true. That when I was 8 years old, I just watching him training and fight, and now I'm one of the undercard, and it's my pleasure to fight in his corner.
And also, just to Gary Russell Jr., it's not a question, but I just want to say condolences to you and your family.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Some things are inevitable. We got to deal with things as they come. Also, I got to give my condolences to Leo Santa Cruz.
Yes.
I've noticed that he's recently just lost his dad as well. I reached out to Leo quite a few times just to give my condolences in person. And just like when my father passed, man, I blocked the world out for a minute until I kind of got myself together. So I understand. I just want to just give him some words of encouragement. Just let him know, man, energy don't die. It just transfers. Continue to hear your father's voice. A lot of people has that. Everyone has that, but not everybody has a father. I and my younger brothers, we had fathers, and it hits different. So, man, just take your time, stay focused. Remember, you are your daddy's child. You're your father's child. He lives within you.
God bless you and your family. Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Cynthia.
you.
Thank you to all the media for your questions today. I'm sorry we couldn't get to everyone, but we're under a little time constraint here. With that, I'm going to turn things back over to Miguel to get closing comments from the fighters and wrap things up.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you all media for joining us on our call. First, back to you, Mark. July 19th, it's a huge opportunity for you. You have an obstacle to get through with Cuellar. How does it all go down?
I'm so excited for this coming July 19 because this is my second time undercard of Manny Pacquiao, and for this fight, there's a knockout for this fight.
All right, thank you, Mark. And now we'll go over to David. And David, you have talked, how important this fight is for you. You believe this is the biggest fight of your career thus far. What can fans expect to see from David Rey Picasso Saturday, July 19th?
I hope a knockout in the sixth round, or maybe early, because I was training 6 months for this fight. My last fight in December, and I was 1 week of sleep and no training, but the week later I was training, and I was so excited for the opportunity in this fight. Manny Pacquiao is my idol. Manny Pacquiao. When I was 10 years old, Manny is the best in the world, and Manny is called in this moment like Mexican destructor, Mexicans killer, and that's not important for me. He is my idol, and well, I'm so excited. I will win. I will like for the people. I will like for the promoters, and I hope this fight I can win the opportunity for the world title.
Awesome. Well, thank you, David. And now you have the opportunity to be on a Manny Pacquiao card. And now, finally, for you, Gary, it's been a long-awaited return. It is just a couple of weeks away. What's the feeling like? And, are you getting good fight nerves, as you would say, leading up to this? And what can fans expect from Gary Russell, July 19th?
I'm definitely getting good fight nerves. I never really get nerves when I fight. I more so just get excited. The closer I get to the fight, the more excited I get. I'm just glad, like I said, I'm just glad to be back in the ring and back to doing what I love doing. I'm glad that I'll be able to go out there again and display my skill set to the world. This is supposed to be the return of the legends, Manny Pacquiao. This is going to be a great card to be on. I know Mark said something about he want to do it again, but he might want to talk that over with his promoters. Promoters might not like that he said that. Because this shit real over here. I can't wait to get back in the ring. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy.
I think we're losing you, Gary, a little bit.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gary. We very much look forward to seeing you back in the ring Saturday, July 19th. Saturday, July 19th, it all goes down. The return of legend Manny Pacman Pacquiao, looking to become another world champion, WBC welterweight world champion Mario Barrios. It all goes down in our main event, MGM Grand Garden Arena, PBC Pay-Per-View event on Prime Video. And like I mentioned earlier, we have the prelims for you on 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. The return of Gary Russell Jr., also David Rey Picasso on the card, as well as Mark Magnifico Magsayo. It all goes down Saturday, July 19th. We look forward to seeing all our fighters in action. Just a couple of weeks away. Get your tickets, AXS.com, and we'll see you guys in Las Vegas on Fight Week.